All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome aboard day two of the free full throttle, or as I'm calling it, no offense, I'm ignoring the free people. But I appreciate your flexibility. Last night they said, hey, Fox News hit tomorrow morning at 10:15. I said, all right, I'll slide the brief to 10:30. And then, of course, breaking news and all sorts of stuff like that. So they slid the hit to 10:40. So I appreciate your flexibility. I'm always trying to, it sucks because it doesn't suck. Let me fix that. 6 months ago, I engaged a PR firm to try and help me get some national media exposure for a mission at the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. And as luck, well, it wasn't luck. As bad luck would have it, that's when the DC midair happened. And they're like, yeah, psychedelics and whatever. No, he's was an airline pilot, military pilot. Can he talk on this? Sure. Then the Toronto flip. Then a lot of bad aviation stuff going on. The crash here in Boca Raton that literally hit close to home. My daughter and my bride and I are going tonight to Brooks Memorial Service, as a matter of fact. So I've been doing all these aviation hits, which, I mean, yay. It's good because they're like, man, all these producers know you now from News Nation, Newsmax, Fox, Greta. So as psychedelics become more and more, known, people, the producers we're going to be the first call. So good stuff, I guess. We got articles in the Wall Street Journal with, Morgan Luttrell. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is my, today I met at a little restaurant in San Diego in Point Loma. Marcus, JT, JJ, and Robert got in a little convoy and went south tonight and sat with the medicine. So this is my 4-year anniversary, folks, and I could not be more thrilled. Couldn't be more thrilled. The other day, did you see the FDA commissioner? Ladies and gentlemen, exploring psychedelic medicine is a top priority for the Trump administration. The FDA commissioner. Did any of you see any of this for the past 4 years? I was wrong, man. I thought Democrats were already there. Hippies and drug rugs and anti-war, anti-corporation, anti-pharma, all those people have completely changed. They want war. They love big pharma. They ain't hippies anymore. I don't know what happened to you people. We're in bizarro world. Now it's the Republicans that are like, psychedelics for veterans and it's working. Let's heal these people. So we are living in strange times, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, good point. I'll give you this article. This is a great read. So Marcus and I went down to Mexico tonight, saved and changed. And it's so unbelievable, right? That in 12 to 14 hours, my life completely changed. I'm not one, it's in the headline. I was just about to say this. I'm not one to use the words reborn or the word reborn casually. Matter of fact, before I sat with the medicine, if I heard you use the word reborn, I probably would have laughed at you either in your face or under my breath. That guy died. I got my life back 4 years ago tonight. So just very thankful. Thank you, all, my members, for supporting my mission, supporting my journey. You guys are part of my journey, man. And I'm really thankful for that. Hey, so having said that, I think we're done. I think if you're not talking to me or John Thomas, the CFO of Demerex, they're done. I think they got pretty damn. We're not even waiting until Friday. I'm like, give them a week and then we got to move on. I think we're done. So tomorrow, to kick off AR, Accelerated Retirement, Daniel Carcillo's coming. So Dan, if you don't know who he is, 2-time Stanley Cup champ from the Blackhawks. He was a goon, not a goon anymore. Google Daniel Carcillo fights and look at this guy. No teeth, blood on his jersey, 7 concussions. He was on death's door as an NHL superstar, healed with his medicine. He is blazing a path. He opened a legal retreat center in Oregon that is absolutely beautiful. It's right out of central casting. I mean, it looks like if you wanted to see a movie about doing the medicine in a beautiful location, this is it. So he started a company called Experience Onward. I'm a member. I'm an investor. I'm in all of it. Um, and he's expanding. He just got a big investor who wants to open in Colorado and now New Mexico. They're looking. I'm not going to steal his thunder. Here's what I'm getting at. Tomorrow, he's going to come and open up the doors to potential investors as well. So we have infrastructure, either the REIT, which 25 of you got in and it's closed, or EO, Experience Onward. So Daniel and a bunch of you, I forget how many TGO members have initially invested about a year ago in Experience. It was called New Path Connections. He changed the name. He's like, nah. Oh yeah, John. I loved him when he was on the Flyers because I was born and raised in Philly and Jersey. I hated him when he was on the Blackhawks. Kind of like Brad Marchand. I hated Brad Marchand in Boston. He's a Florida Panther, and I love him. So tomorrow, join me. He's going to be joining us before we do the AR brief, Accelerate Retirement. If you're interested in investing in the infrastructure, and he's going to brief you on the study that we're doing. So we have a bunch of veterans who I should have closed that sniper. It was up like 70%, and I failed to close it because I was on Fox News. If you got in the bull put spread, man, you should have closed it when it went up to that 59.50. Damn it. Oh, it's up. It's still up $700. There's $700 profit this morning so far. So if you want to invest in this, I won't steal Daniel's thunder, but we're doing a study. We have a university. He's got athletes. He's got Super Bowl champs, Stanley Cup winners with traumatic brain injury. I sadly have veterans with traumatic brain injury. So we are creating a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. We have a New York Times reporter who's going to be embedded in this whole process. He's got a documentary film crew. So you're going to be able to invest in Experience Onward and obviously everything that goes along with that. The business is already cash flow positive and making money. Okay. Yeah, Karen, that's what he's going to do. Tomorrow he's going to brief you on everything that's going on with Experience Onward and get new folks up to speed as well who want to invest. So I'm really excited for the brief tomorrow. I looked at the deck and I'm like, man, this is, again, 4-year anniversary. I can't believe, or maybe I can believe that we're here. I mean, Karen, you've been here since day one, helping out and pitching into the fight. All the original folks, man, you've seen what a wild journey it's been. Can you imagine the next 4 years? Did you just see the headline I just shared with you? FDA commissioner. For the past 4 years, I've been frothing at the mouth. I'm like, Joe Biden, Kamala, where are you people? Aren't you hippies? Don't you love psychedelics? It's the Republicans that are like, hey, you're telling me Marcus Luttrell and Wiz Buckley says this stuff worked for them? I'm in. Dan Crenshaw, love him or hate him, he's like, I haven't done the medicine. I don't know if it's calling to me. Probably won't. But if my brothers and sisters say it works, I trust them, right? So, awesome. Rick, reach out whenever you get that done, man. I can always try and maneuver stuff. I did that with the REIT with some people. It's too late for the REIT, but let me know in 30 days, Rick. All right, we got to go. I'm so far behind, man. My apologies. I have a podcast, my 4-year anniversary podcast in a couple hours I need to go do. Hey, if you missed yesterday, if you're a free person, like I said, no offense, I'm kind of not ignoring you, but these are regular member briefs. We already did a full throttle in the past month. I approved the calendar and I didn't look at it. So I was wrong. My people are not. We shouldn't be having a full throttle this week, but since they had already emailed and our strategic partners had emailed, welcome. But I'm gonna treat you like you're currently a member. Here we go. Let's go. It's just so interesting to see what's going on. There are people in this country that would complain it's not hot enough in hell. Donald Trump had a talk with Putin yesterday. Oh, he's a Putin. He's a Putin plan. He's a Russian agent. Go get help, man. Go take a maverick mind and meditate and go for a walk. You people are nuts. Anyway, did you see this ever happen with Joe? No, of course not, because Boris Johnson, close enough. Boris Johnson and Joe and their defense contractor said, no, 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 no. Let's fight this thing out. Hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians, Russians, I don't care if you don't care about them. I do. I care about all human life, are dead. Him being on a phone call, folks, if it makes you cringe, you got a problem. But anyway, no breakthrough from the Wall Street Journal, who hasn't met a war they didn't like. It went very well. Now, again, Trump likes to, excuse me, speak like Trump. But ladies and gentlemen, did you read the president's tweet or whatever, True Social? I don't know what you call it if it's not a tweet. The Vatican. The Pope's like, hey, man, how about everybody meet here and I'll mediate the peace? Somebody asked that, like, with the Pope wanting to step up and mediate the peace, does that make you feel, whatever? He's like, what? I don't care. I want peace. I'd love for the Pope to step up and do this. I'll get out of the way. People are nuts in this country. I mean, seriously, Trump, whatever that book is, the DSM, whatever, I think they really do need to add Trump derangement syndrome to that, or Elon derangement syndrome. It's awful. So why am I rambling about this? This, excuse me, would be part of an incredible relief rally. I can't believe I'm sitting in a live trade brief in May of 2025, and we're talking about war in Eastern Europe, trench warfare. When I sat with the medicine 4 years ago tonight, ain't no war in Ukraine. We were in a pretty good place in this war world, coming out of the COVID scandemic or plandemic. And boom, 4 years later, I can't even believe I have to celebrate that the president is speaking with the Russian president about maybe finding peace. The market will breathe a sigh of relief. And I hate talking like this, but I will as your flight instructor. Money, baby. It's kind of like when Trump talked to Krima, some young guy in Singapore. He's like, beautiful coastline, North Korea. I could put a Trump hotel there. This should look like Singapore, man. Same thing with Putin. He's like, bro, knock this shit off. Russia will explode. Business, money, investing, no killing. So BlackRock, all these I'm old enough to remember McDonald's and Starbucks like, we hereby virtue signal and we're leaving Russia. No more business in Russia. How'd that work out? They made McDougal's and Star Trucks, and they made their own type of those companies, and they're all printing money. So capital finds a way, folks. Let me get rid of this portion of the brief by saying only good can happen from peace and whatever. And all the idiots that are like, oh, if you give Putin an inch, he's been ground down to a halt with 25% of Ukraine. All you idiots who think he's going to steamroll he's going to be goose stepping in Piccadilly Circus in a year are just dumb. They're using 1950s tanks. He got his ass kicked not even halfway through Ukraine. So stop with the fear mongering. All these defense contractors, all the military industrial complex always needs a boogeyman. After World War II, I don't want to close my Jeep plane factory and shipbuilding yard. Ooh, boogeyman, North Korea, China. Ooh, Vietnam. Ooh, Saddam. Whatever, man. Enough is enough. Give peace a chance. So, okay. Well, exactly, Steve. I agree with that too. This is a joke. The fact that the retail investor stepped in yesterday and bought the dip, I don't do my morning yoga on Tuesdays. I do my mastermind call. It was comical. These people can't stand that we're in here. One of my favorite movies on this planet is Caddyshack, right? I love the caddy swim hour from 12 to 12:15 at the members club and all the caddies. That's the retail investor to these blue bloods. Did you not see that we lost our AAA credit rating? Nobody gives a shit. We know it was political, and Moody's didn't say a word at 9.1% inflation under Joe Biden. 9.1% inflation, or the Inflation Reduction Act that blew out spending to an obscene level. That didn't reduce inflation, clearly. So nobody cares, or nobody with a brain cares. All the people from BlackRock and the conferences in the Hamptons, ooh, our AAA credit rating. We all know it's bullshit. They should have downgraded it at the middle of Biden, right? Didn't say a word. So we get it, right? America's fiscal situation threatens the good mood on Wall Street. Okay, so again, the only time we care about bonds is right about now. What do we kissed above 5 the other day? I don't know where we are today. Yields on longer term treasuries extend gains after the U.S. lost its AAA credit rating. Ladies and gentlemen, I really don't care about the bond market. If you think you can make more money in bonds than trading, you have no idea what you're doing, right? But I get it. It's a flight to safety, Wiz. Yeah, for my mom. I'm not my mom. Nobody cares about the bond market. That's why yesterday you saw this happen. Let's just go look at the chart, man. I absolutely love it. The people on CNBC were beside themselves. What did I tell you in yesterday's brief at Solo Amazon? I'm like, man, I was trying to drive with my knees yesterday when I saw the futures, down. I'm like, buy the dip, buy it right at the open. You should have bought this thing. I knew that was going to happen. Nobody cares. Certainly not retail investors about a political downgrade at Moody's. Should have bought the dip yesterday. But again, Wall Street Journal, just Eeyore right now. Let me be clear, though. Let me go look at the S&P 500 right now. We're not out of the woods. Did everybody get the bear call spread that I shot yesterday? You're welcome for the 80% profit. I think you could have gotten more. Where is it? Right here. So yesterday afternoon, I fired this bear call spread. The 90.95 bear call spread at $1.11. Got out of it this morning at 80% profit. Okay. So again, S&P 500 sniper shots are beautiful. In, out, take it. So, and for all the new folks, again, not ignoring you, but this alert went out on our app. Whenever I put at everyone, everybody in there, in the hunters and my lifetime team, get an alert right on their phone. No text alerts anymore. Text alerts are so 2010. These are app alerts, instantaneous on your phone. Okay. So make sure you join so you can get these type of alerts. I fired one this morning. CS, why did you choose that bear call spread on SPX? Maybe I can talk about that later, or you can join. If you join today, folks, and you go to Options Weapon School Session 7, right here, ladies and gentlemen, as the page loads, there's an Options Weapon School Session number 7, right down here. You see this? Options Weapon School 7, SPX Sniper Shot Methodology and Short Call Management. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is worth, it's priceless. This is my proprietary methodology of how I pick the strikes and how I do my 2, 4, 6 management or entry, and then why I get out of a trade. So answer your question, join, and get access to Options Weapon School Session 7 right now, today. And I'll give you the link at the end and how you can join. Here's what I'm getting at. When I went over to that rant, I shot into this because we're not out of the woods, man. We are far from being out of the woods. Nice rally, I get it, but we're most likely going to see a little bit of a pullback. You can see it. We're running out of airspeed up here. So that's why I shot that yesterday. Closed it at the open, close to the open when we opened with a little bit of a down and took 80% in, I think that was about an hour, 2 hours. Let me get back to why we're not out of the woods. Bessent is good. He's a measured, well-spoken guy. Bessent warns tariffs will go back up for nations that do not negotiate in good faith. And of course, when you see when you see a Treasury Secretary saying, yeah, I don't put much credence in a downgrade. If you took 2008 Wiz and dropped them into today from the Board of Trade to my beautiful home here in God's waiting room in Boca, I'd be like, oh my God, we lost a AAA credit rating and the Treasury Secretary shrugged. Yeah, it ain't 2008, Wiz. When I sat in the Board of Trade and frothed at the mouth saying to the Fed and everybody who would listen, do not bail anybody out. Remember, they came up with too big to fail, Wiz. If something's too big to fail, it should absolutely fail. But here's what I'm getting at, folks, as we get operational. We are not out of the woods. This 90-day pause, when's that expire, man? I forget what it's on my calendar, but we're not. Whoever was questioning the other day actually did a pretty good job. Like, hey, man, we haven't seen any like signed deals. Like, you and China. Do you remember the China negotiations? When was that? Last weekend? Seems like a year ago. Whenever that was, like on Twitter, X, people were freaking out like Chinese delegation stormed out of the talks. They went to lunch. They came back and I think they went to lunch at the same place the US people did, and they were hanging. It's so funny. These liberals, these Democrats, the mainstream media can't give a victory to anything. Breaking. All these tweets were like, breaking. The Chinese delegation stormed out. It's noon, dude. They eat lunch too. So, this was a pretty good breakdown of everything. He's listened to the man. It seems like right now the market's only listening to what? The good. Maybe towards the end here, we look into a potential trudge here because you guys know Trump as well as I can. In the blink of an eye, he can do oh, really? Well, now we're back. And he has said that, folks. Lately, he's like, we're collecting money right now. We're bringing in money. There's tariffs on these countries. I haven't seen a single deal. Somebody tell me if I missed something, but we haven't gotten a deal, folks, yet. So, CPI came in weak last week. That is fantastic news. Inflation's coming in. Things, no matter what the Wall Street Journal, who sounds like the New York Times now, keeps saying, the data are solid, right? I mean, if anything, I was shocked inflation numbers are coming in light because of what we know happened under Obama and Biden. They lie. The BLS doesn't stand for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, or at least it didn't. It stood for Biden Labor Statistics. Again, another inspector general is looking into the jobs report right in front of the election. I called it a lie. I called it a lie during Obama's reelection. I forget the numbers in Obama. We were in a live trade brief. It's back in the day when we did that, or early briefs. As soon as it hit, I'm like, it's a lie. That's a lie. That's physically impossible. Jack Welch, who was the CEO of GE, was on Squawk. He said it probably a minute after I did. He's like, that's unbelievable. That's wrong. They're lying to us. They destroyed him. Turned out we were both right. So it'll be interesting to see how we move forward with this. But, solid looking numbers. But again, the Wall Street Journal, complaining it's not hot enough in hell. Consumer sentiment darkens. I don't care about. I have completely lost faith in Big Blue's numbers. University of Michigan. Let's go back to last Friday. I didn't cover this yesterday. Let's go look. Look at this. Where is it? Consumer sentiment, folks. Let's go look at the chart. You ready? Look. I mean, seriously? Unbelievable. You're telling me the consumer is that dour. There's something good in this, right? I feel kind of economically, financially, market-ish. I feel the same as we did under Joe. First of all, you should feel the same too, which is what? Okay. You shouldn't be dour. You shouldn't be super bullish. You should be what at all times? Measured. You should be centered. What I'm getting at is looking at that bar chart, I laugh at it. I feel no worse consumer-wise than under Joe Biden. Okay, now let's look at the inflate. This one's going to shock you. And looking at that, my God, people are so dour. What happens when, not if, things clear up? Folks, I told you a mid-year rally, and we're seeing it. I said 6, 12, most 18 months from now, we're going to see a rip, and I'm going to sound like Trump, like you've never seen before. I'm sticking with that. But look at inflation expectations reported on Friday. You ready? Holy shit. So let me get this straight, University of Michigan, who only samples Democrats. We taught inflation expectations under Joe when inflation had a 9.1% print. This is how you discount stupidity. Right here, folks, we had 9.1% inflation. And you're telling me Michigan's numbers? Look at this. 4 months in a row didn't move. Lies. These are lies too. Now Big Blue is doing what? Oh, this is the highest inflation expectations I've ever seen. And I've been doing this for 34 years. Ever. Did you not just listen to me 3 minutes ago, brief you on how CPI is actually doing? So, exactly. See, you know what's funny is there's a lot of TGO members that are like, dude, I don't even watch the news anymore. I come for your briefs. I know how to trade options, but I come for the rants and the briefs and the trades. Because I just sit here and laugh at a bunch of this stuff. Okay. Jamie Dimon's would-be successors auditioned for the top job at JP Morgan. So this is good. Oh, you know what? Let's maybe get out of this, folks. Let's when I'm seeing profits, let's go. We got to where's the trade? 65%, $1,300. Close it, or I'm closing it. I'll put in an order for 40. I'm going to try and get 40. So that'll be technically a 70%, $1,300. 70%, 13. Now watch how we do this, folks. If you're not in a live trade brief or whatever, don't worry about it. You're about to get an alert if you remember. If not, if you're free, you're welcome. You could have made $1,300, 70% in an hour and a half. So I go to the hunters. Where's my trade? Right there. There's the bull put spread. At everyone, so everybody gets this alert. Paste it. Closing for 1,300 or 70% profit. If you were in solo Amazon yesterday and you did the annual, I just paid for your annual membership and you made $400. You're welcome. Men lie, trades don't. I'm the only guy that does this too, folks. Everybody else will kill you with PowerPoints. I show you what I'm doing live. Now I go over to my lifetime folks and give them the same thing. Boom. Live trades, live profits. You're welcome. 220 members in our lifetime, the most elite squadron that we have. And then over here in the Hunters, I'll show you at the end of today's brief how you can get into the Hunters Investment Club for 268 members. It's less of an investment to join the Hunters than the lifetime. There's a reason for that. Okay, let's get back to Jamie. This is good. I'm long-term bullish on Jamie, on JP Morgan, who is JP Morgan. I have synthetic stock in my personal account and in my model portfolio. We're going to cover this in a couple seconds here. Love JP Morgan, man. This trade right now is up 42%, $1,200. I think we put this on a couple weeks ago. Why is this good, Wiz? Jamie Dimon, he is JP Morgan. He's the face. They're prepping the battlefield. Initially, when Berkshire Hathaway, like, the dude's older than Noah. Did you? Nobody lives forever, baby. Or actually, we do live forever, but not our physical bodies. Separate conversation. The stock reacted a little bit. Duh. Jamie Dimon said 2 years ago, he's like, I'm having fun, but In my book, shameless plug, From Sea Level to Sea Level, we talk about succession planning. These imperial CEOs that think they will rule forever. It's better to have this than a no band change of command. Breaking news, Jamie Dimon dropped dead, God forbid. Breaking news, Jamie Dimon just quit. Stock's down 10%. Shouldn't happen. If anything, the stock might go up. And he already said he's going to be a Jeff Bezos. He's like, yeah, I'm still going to be around, meaning I want somebody else to be the, take the heat on Capitol Hill type of guy, and I'll be Chairman Demetrius or whatever it is. So this is an absolutely great look at this. Investors gather in Midtown Manhattan to see who might become the next skipper. I love this. This is bullish. If you do not have your synthetic stock on JP Morgan, choke yourself. You should do a synthetic stock. We looked at a bull put spread, didn't we? Bull put spread is looking fantastic on JP Morgan. You're welcome. Love, love, love. Look at this. Look at the rip in JP Morgan. This, you cannot see a more bullish trade. Look at this. We ran up. You see that E right there? That's earnings. We ran up into earnings. What's this called? Buy the rumor, sell the news. So we we filled the gap. Let me channel my inner Bart. Run up, buy the rumor, good earnings. They were incredible earnings. Sell the news. What did it do? It filled the earnings run. What did I tell you yesterday? And I always tell you, if it does this and even blinks going up, it's bullish. It's going to rip. If it fills that gap and goes through it, pound it into the dirt, it's going to be bearish. This, ladies and gentlemen, you could put in your trade manual of holy rip Batman. So we have a great looking bull. I forget the strikes. Somebody, is it last week? Let's go take a look. Let's go look at the member page. Loving JP Morgan. Does everybody have have your synthetic stock on JP Morgan on? Was it in AR or primary? Let me go look. Where is the there it is. My memory's okay. My Maverick bind. So if you're a free person, here's your free trade for the day on JP Morgan. I did take a screenshot right now of this. You're getting a free trade on JP Morgan. We did synthetic stock last week at the 260 strike. We bought a disaster put at 210, and we sold a call out to Friday against it, the 265. This is out to December of 2027. We did Amazon yesterday. I'm not giving you another free synthetic stock trade building it. You can take a picture of this one right here. Okay. Now, our bull put spread out to the end of the month is the 257.5, 255 for 61 cents. Let's go price that real quick. It's the May 30th, 257.5, 255. We're up 50% in that trade. This is at 31 cents right now. What was it last week? 61. You're welcome. You have made 50% in a week on your JP Morgan bull put spread. Love it. Let me do a solid here, though. And we mentioned this last week. Okay. Go watch the replay from last week, or you know what? If you're not a current member, join and go watch the replay from last week and maybe enter this trade. Definitely do the synthetic stock, man. But since I do think we're kind of topping out, let's go throw JP Morgan up here real quick. Take a look. I'm getting a similar feeling for all these names that, hey, monster run, we're probably going to take a little bit of a break. So let's leg into an iron condor on JP Morgan for my existing members. So let's go look. Still love it. Doesn't mean I'm bearish on it. You got 50% profit already in the bull put spread. Let's go put a little bit of a roof on it and rate probably up where I drew it last week. Let's go look out to next Friday. Let's look at the 275, 272.5. Perfect. How many contracts did we do? I think I just did one for, one for demonstration purposes. I'll do the same thing here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So I already gave you all my commit criteria. Don't need to walk through that again. I like this trade. I'm going to sell a single for the model portfolio. I do probably 35 contracts, but let's just, since everybody's different in here, we got multimillionaires. I think we still have 2 billionaires. I haven't talked to in a while. Somebody manages their money, but they love to come in and shoot their own stuff. Got to check in with those guys. So I just show a contract. I don't give investment advice. I'm showing you what I'm doing. You do whatever you want on your side of your computer. But I would look to sell a single May 30, 272.5 call. That's me saying buy next Friday. JP Morgan's not above 272.5. Well, Wiz, what if you're wrong? Rarely happens. But if it is, I'm going to buy an upside call, the 275. Right now, it's at 52 cents. Okay, I'd only go about 2 cents wide. The most I'd go up to is 54. The lowest I'd go is 50. Why? Because if it's outside, if it starts moving outside of that range, that means JP Morgan's going either up or down, and I might have to adjust those strikes. So that's why I give a little bit of a range. Now, while we're also sitting here on this screen, we talk about the bad. Double it. Double 52 cents. Write down on your trade plan, your trade journal, wherever you keep track of this stuff, $1.04. Why? That is where I would maybe eject out of this trade. What does eject mean? Close it. To avoid a max loss. I'm a political science major from South Jersey. I need simple things. I'm an aviator. In the cockpit, you need simple things. Double the credit you take in. If JP Morgan starts ripping and it hits, this trade goes up to $1.04, scratch your chin and go, should I exit this now? Is this a temporary pop and it's going to drop? Or no, it's on a rip. I can't make that decision for you now. The decision I am making for me now is that level, that price. $1.04 is when I have to evaluate. Am I staying? I'm doing one of my favorite songs from the 80s. Should I stay or should I go now? The Clash. Okay. Now, we haven't even placed the trade, and we know where we would maybe exit for a little bit of a loss. Now, the first place we look when I analyze the trade is right here, max potential loss. You are the tick. You're the trader in command. If you're not comfortable with losing 197 bucks, do not ever look up here first. Hey, man, I want to make 53. Yeah, no shit. Who doesn't? You want to risk this? No. Then don't look at that first. Okay. So once I acknowledge as the trader in command that I'm okay with that risk, I accept it. Now you can look up here and go, all right, that's the max potential profit. Using current at the money volatility in JP Morgan options, check this out. You have a 75% probability of making that max profit. Okay. The risk to reward in this trade is above my 1 to 0.25. My minimum for a standalone spread is 1 to 0.25. For an iron condor, it can be a little less, but I like this trade. Now, as I'm talking or I'm on this screen, I'm going to talk about profit. We talked about the bad on the last screen. Now let's look at 7, 8, 9. If I'm looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on the credit that I took in, close it. Pigs get slaughtered. Do not turn a 70, 80, 90% profit into 100% loss. Don't sit there and look at a 90% profit and go, I want the couple extra bucks here. I'm going to go do something else. And breaking news, Jesus Christ has returned and he's replacing Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan. The stock is up $100. You're going to get destroyed. It'll break your heart. I've done it before, a long time ago when I was an idiot. I have turned 70, 80, 90% profitable trades into 100% losers. If you haven't, listen to me and don't ever. Okay, I was about to say you will. You won't because you're going to be at Top Gun Options. I'm going to crack your knuckles with a ruler if you do that. Do not do that. All right, I'm going to grab screenshots of this order ticket, and I'm going to show you. Grab this again. JPM. What's today's date? 5. Today's date is 5/20. It is my 4-year anniversary. I just told you that. Okay. Now let's take a screenshot of this. I get my default speakers changed. Move out of the way, man. Thank you. All right, screenshot of this so I can send this out as a trade alert in the brief. Again, you don't have to be in a brief to get these alerts. You got your app. You can watch the replay later like a lot of members do. Like, hey, man, I missed the replay. I'm going to watch it later. JP Morgan. We also have to sell some front month calls against our JP Morgan synthetic stock. I'm going to do that in a second here. Okay. Now look at the screen right here, folks. If you're new, this is called a bear call spread, and we'd be legging into an iron condor. In this type of trade, you make money 3 out of 4 ways. What are the 3 ways? See that dotted line right there? That's the current price of JP Morgan. JP Morgan goes down, you make money. What if it doesn't move, Wiz? It topped out and we're just hovering. You make money. What if it goes up a little bit, Wiz? You make money as long as it stays below what? The break-even price, which is right there on the chart. The 1 in 4 ways you lose money is if it rips, you fall asleep at the switch and it rips through your break-even and you don't close it. That's on you, baby. We haven't even placed this trade yet, ladies and gentlemen, and when we know when we're getting out, either for minimum loss or maximum profit. Does everybody understand this? Isn't this awesome? Okay. So let me, I'll for the model portfolio, how many contracts would we do in the model portfolio, Wiz? Based on a $100,000 account, not wanting to risk more than $5,000 on any one trade-ish, maybe 30 contracts. Okay. That's good. Risking, 59 to make 1,500 bucks. Remember, this is not the max potential loss if you have the bull put spread on too, because now that trade's going to turn into what we call an iron condor. You have a ceiling on, which is the bear call spread we're looking at. You have the basement on, which is the bull put spread. It's a range bound trade. As long as JP Morgan stays in the house, doesn't go up into the attic or down into the basement, you make money on both trades. I love iron condors like this. I especially love iron condors like this as we're kind of topping out here. I love legging into it. Okay. All right, let me do this. And then we have to look at a short call on JP Morgan out to Friday. So I have synthetic stock, as I already showed you in this portfolio. Let's go out to Friday and sell. What's the at the money straddle? About $4. I do the 270 call. The 270 call on JP Morgan out to Friday would be the short call I would sell against my synthetic stock. Let me take a screenshot of this. JP Morgan short call 520. Okay. And kind of like I tend to do, the aggressive short call would be the 267.5 out to Friday. That's pretty aggressive. The stock's at 266. I wouldn't do that, but Wiz, I think you're right. We're topped out. We're gonna fade by Friday. 267.5 then. It's up to you. Okay. You are the tick, you're the trader in command, not me. So you got to make the decisions for your own portfolio. Love to know who you are and what you do and everything like that. I don't. That's why registered investment advisors meet with you. They look at all your stuff. They know your risk tolerance and stuff like that. I don't. All right, here we go. In the trade alerts thread, new JP Morgan positions. Legging into May 30th, Iron Condor. I'll answer questions in a second, folks. Now you're getting a demonstration of why we limit membership at Top Gun Options. I like a nice tight-knit crowd. I don't love hundreds of people in here. No offense. So you got to join because laying into May 30 Iron Condor and weekly short calls. All right, now I add the images. I at everyone. So they all get the alerts, everybody in the hunters. I'll go get the images. Desktop. There's the short calls. And now the bull put spread. All right, so new JP Morgan positions legging into May. Uh, we have existing bull put spread from last Tuesday's brief. All right. Can't spell clearly. Existing Tuesday's brief. All right. So 268 hunters get that alert instantaneously on their phone, along with our lifetime members. JP, new JP Morgan positions. There's that. There's that. There's the images. I could just post these in the hunters, but I still like giving all my lifetime members love because they are in the hunters and they get these alerts too. But I like to do that stuff. Okay. Couple more things we got to talk about in our model portfolio. SIBO. Our SIBO trade is up 70%, $1,600. If you're a new person, you have got to do synthetic stock on the Chicago Board Options Exchange. Options trading is exploding. The earnings they reported were disgusting. Look at that. What a rip. And then what happened? Oops, sorry. Look at the rip, their earnings rip. And then they announced a new CEO. Well, who gives a shit? I actually knew the old CEO. Greg, he's been there forever. I interviewed him on the Options News Network, and now it's ripping again. SIBO, long-term bullish synthetic stock trade on this name, folks. Look at the explosion in options trading. You look at, holy shit, look at the SIBO chart. You want to do a synthetic stock on a name that moves up and to the right like this. Okay, I can share with you. Let me go find it real quick. One of my commit criteria. Where's it? TGO. Let me go look at my bookmarks. You got to read this article, man. Where is it? SIBO, explosive trade. They call it a thrill. Look at this. A thrill-seeking trade amps up and heading into 2025. Stock options are soaring with everyday investors wagering on market whipsaws. Look at the explosive growth, folks. I was in the Chicago Board of Trade and the Chicago Board Options Exchange right here. I thought we saw explosive growth. Now look at that. Buy SIBO with both hands. Chicago Board Options Exchange do a long-term bullish synthetic stock. If you don't have that trade, you got to join and I'll show you how to do it. My existing position is printing money. Let's put some short calls on out to Friday against this. Probably the 230 calls. Well, the 230s would be very conservative. I'll do the 227 and a half. And then I promise I'll answer questions. I'm not ignoring you. That's just a lot of people in here. There we go. New SIBO. Weekly short calls versus Sin stock. If you weren't here yesterday, man, watch the replay. I show you how to do synthetic stock with Amazon. That is a must. Okay, trade alerts. There we go. I could have done all of these on one alert thing. My apologies if your phone's blowing up, but better to over alert than under. All right. And then I'll start going back here and looking at some stuff. So we got JP Morgan, SPX. All right. Let me start cleaning up here and scrolling up. All right. Added Rick. Yeah, I love your the stock charts. The Williams R, uh, the percent R. Not a bad idea. Uh, Magic Wand. CS, why do you mostly trade weeklies as opposed to going further out to give you time? CS, hopefully you just saw a demonstration of I trade the front months against my synthetic stock positions. I'll sell weekly calls against it. I just did last week. We did a JP Morgan trade that was 3 weeks out into the future. I do whatever the market's showing me. I'm not a when if you just got a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I trade long-term bullish positions years out into the future. I trade weeklies and I trade front month spreads. I do all of the above, man. I am not a one-trick pony. I can do all of it. Does that answer your question? Sandra, we haven't seen you in a while. Husband's been in and out of the hospital. I hope everything is okay. God bless you and your husband. But good to see you back, and God bless. Let me know or us know if we can be of any help. Jim, what strike is your synthetic stock at? Doesn't matter to you when selling the call. Jim, I that was a while ago. I'm not sure which name you were asking about. JP Morgan, SIBO, or maybe you can Angel, what about Amazon synthetic stock? If you want Amazon synthetic stock, I did it yesterday for free in the solo Amazon brief. There is the replay. Oh, JP Morgan, my synthetic stock is at 250. I did the 250 strike. Let me analyze it. This is my existing position on JP Morgan if you want to take a look. I'm not filled on the short call out to Friday yet, but that I have synthetic stock at the 250 strike. Ladies and gentlemen, where's JP Morgan? Yeah, it's at 265. If I did the synthetic stock position today, it would just be at the 265 strike. Okay, but I did mine however long ago at 250. Let me scroll up. Scroll down. Answer that. Why synthetic stock when JP Morgan pays a nice dividend? Tom, I don't care about dividends. I print money with the options. I outperform. I do not want to, folks. Tom, make sure you watch the brief yesterday from synthetic stock. Why the hell would you tie up? Let's thank you for asking this, Tom. I'm going to. It's a great question. What if you wanted to buy a 100 shares of JP Morgan today? How many of you have $26,000 to buy 100 shares of JP Morgan today? If you do, God bless you. But ladies and gentlemen, what's the dividend at? 2%. Folks, I'm going to give you two names tomorrow. You can start researching Sabra. You have got to get long-term bullish on Sabra. It's got a 7% dividend. AHR, American Healthcare REIT. We'll cover these tomorrow. 3% dividend. JP Morgan's 2% dividend I can find in my couch. It's an absolute waste of money to buy JP Morgan stock. The only thing, folks, you don't get with synthetic stock is the dividend. I don't care. And to vote, I don't care. I'm never, maybe in my life would be awesome, will own enough shares for them to care about my vote. I'm not Bill Ackman, an activist investor with, I own 1 million shares of JP Morgan. I want a board seat. That ain't going to happen, folks. I would rather, you ready for this? I'm going to rip. Let me give you the JP Morgan synthetic stock since I'm in a great mood. Would you rather spend $26,000 or you could buy one call? If you bought one December of what, folks, remember, the average holding time of Americans and a stock position is a year. If that, maybe 18 months. I forget what the current stat is. I'll chat GPT it. Here's what I'm getting at. If you bought a single JP Morgan at the money call 2 years out into the future, you're spending $4,500. You are controlling the same amount of shares that some other dude, some other idiot just spent 26 grand to do. Let me do you one more. Why don't we sell in at the money put? So instead of 26 grand, instead of 4,500 bucks, how about $780 to be long-term bullish on Amazon 2 years into the future? Now, some of you immediately looked to here and said, whoa, I don't want to risk 27 grand. Hey, Einstein, what's the max potential loss if you buy 100 shares of JP Morgan right now? 26 grand. The odds of getting eaten by a golden retriever are never zero. The odds of JP Morgan going to zero in 2 years is never zero. It's 0.00, probably 15 decimal points and a 1. So ladies and gentlemen, if you do synthetic stock, your risk is the exact same. But I taught you yesterday, what do? I buy a disaster put about 20% under the name. What's that? The 210 put? So ladies and gentlemen, let's go buy a 210 protective put or disaster put. Now the cost went up a little bit. Obviously, I'm buying some insurance, 2,500 bucks. Now, am I risking 27 grand? I'm risking 8. Again, and Tom, I'm glad you asked, explain to me why you want a little 2% dividend and tie up $26,000 in capital. I used to do this in the old days of Top Gun Options. I used to drag race these trades. I'd buy 100 shares of JP Morgan and do like covered calls against it, and I'd do synthetic stock. And within 6 months, it was over. The experiment's over with. You're printing money in the synthetic stock name compared to being long stock. It's an absolute waste of capital and money. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to tell you about Sabra and AHR, and those would be the only names where I think that you could do it. Daryl, over in the Q&A area, how do you access the replay each day? Daryl, when you join and become a member, where the hell my member pages go? Close it. After my alert? No, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, underneath learning, you're going to go over to the primary live trade brief because that's what you're in right now. And you're going to, and today's brief will be that here's last week's brief right here. The most current brief is up at the top. So up at the top of the page, of this member page that you're looking at, what do you see? The top of the member page right there is the video. That's the replay. Click play right there. You scroll down and you look at the trades that I did. Scroll down and there are screenshots of the trades, right? That's where you watch the replay from every brief. Yesterday's brief was what? Solo Amazon, the Solo Amazon service. So where would you go? Down here to the Solo Amazon service. Let me erase that squiggly line. Clear drawings. Sorry about that. So yesterday's brief, folks, is right there at the top. Okay. My internet's slow because I have like 90,000 things open. So there you go. There's yesterday, May 19, Solo Amazon, new synthetic stock. So there's the replay at the top. You press play right there. You scroll down. There's the screenshot from yesterday's synthetic stock position at the 205 strike. Any other questions on where you see all of this stuff? Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. It is a pet rock. I couldn't care less about Bitcoin. It just doesn't do anything for me. I can be completely wrong. I just don't care. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Solo Amazon, 97 bucks a month. Or you get 2 months included if you do an annual membership. So here's the link to join our Solo Amazon service. I'm going to be quick about that because you should have joined yesterday. Today, ladies and gentlemen, this ain't Solo Amazon. That is a standalone service every Monday at 10. Today, tomorrow, Options Weapon School, all that stuff is called Full Throttle. So let me scroll down on our little drop down here and go to Full Throttle. Today, you can join Full Throttle. The cheapest gateway drug to join Full Throttle is $2.95 a month. I just showed you live this morning that we made what was it? 1,300 bucks, 70% profit. So let me scroll down, because if you do the 295 membership, you do not get access to the hunters right here. You're not paying for it. Okay. So let me show you. Right here is the hunters. We have our intel and commentary thread where we post, you ready for it? Our intelligence and commentary. My intel, other people's intel, stuff like that, man. Then we have the trade alerts thread. That's a standalone thread that is only trades. So we don't cross the streams. Commentary in one, trades only in this one. We keep it kind of clean right there. Okay. So the two threads. $295 a month, you don't get access to that. You get access to the live trade briefs, the training, you get your manuals. If you want access to the hunters today, folks, you either got to do the annual membership, which is $29.95 for a year, or the monthly hunters. Now, if you're not a political science major from South Jersey, you just did the math real quick. Well, if I do that for a year, that's okay. Well, the Full Throttle Max annual is a 50% discount. This monthly hunters is for tire kickers. You know what? I want access to that investment club, and I want access to all your Full Throttle stuff. For a couple months, I'm going to try it out. That's the try it out hunters. I want you to email me in 2-3 months and say, all right, I'm good. Upgrade me into the annual because I want to save some money. Or don't do that and go where most people go immediately. They just do the Full Throttle annual, especially when I just showed you a bear call spread that I shot yesterday afternoon that I closed at the open this morning, made 80%. And I just showed you live this morning the bull put spread, that 70 whatever percent. If you add both, you know what? If you add those two trades together in the past 24 hours, that's like 3,100 bucks. I just live paid for an annual membership into Full Throttle. Not too many other guys or gals in the industry do this. So your membership was paid. You're welcome. Now the rest of the year, the next 12 months that you're with us, is all profit. Okay. Men lie, trades don't. I showed you both of those positions and they are spectacular. You're welcome. Any questions on this? The 295, folks, one more time, is kind of the tire kicker. I want access to your Tuesday, Wednesday briefs. I want the training. I want the manuals. You get access to what I call the ready room. That's kind of the poor man's, there's the intel and commentary thread. 601 people in this one. But if you want to step it up a notch, you go to the hunters. Maybe in a couple of months, 3-4 months from now, I'll brief lifetime. It's a higher investment, but the hunters is this is the solid middle ground. Okay. So again, not too many folks are out there giving you trades live, paying for the membership. It's already paid off. If you had done the SPX trade that I shot yesterday and the one that I did this morning, you're welcome. Your annual membership is paid. Okay, let me review, make sure we have any other outstanding issues. Did I do my Amazon? Oh, I don't have Amazon short calls on. Nope. I didn't get filled on them yesterday. Amazon, I think it was I might have to roll these down a little bit since Amazon's down a little today. Yeah, I'm going to do the two. I think yesterday I did the 210s in my personal account. I'm going to do the 207.5 since Amazon is actually down right now. Okay. Let me go look at my personal account. I think it was the 2, and I just got filled on those. Analyze. Yeah, I did the 210s yesterday, my personal account, but Amazon's down 1% today. So obviously that makes sense. I'm going to roll those calls down a little bit, and I just got filled with those. Remember, folks, selling weekly calls against your long-term bullish positions help pay for the trade. Ain't nobody else out there paying for your long stock position, right? Unless you're selling calls against it. All right, I didn't get filled yet on, it's up 70%, 1,300 bucks right now. I'm going to wait because I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to modify the SPX trade because we're starting to rip. I'm going to go down and put in an order for 30 cents. So I just changed my mind on this trade. Why? Because I'm looking at my other screens and I see this. You want to talk about a 246 methodology? Not Amazon SPX, please. right there. 2 4. We're ripping. We're going to rip back up to 59.30. So I just rolled the price of that bull put spread up. I'm going to take a little bit more profit, or attempt to try and take a little bit more profit. See that? That's a solid 2 big green handles, a 2-minute and a 4-minute, and now a green. I shot a little aggressive a minute ago, but that's confirmation. We're probably going to rip back up to 59.50. Okay. So that's why I did that. I adjusted it. Still a 70% $1,300 trade right now. All right. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, it's going to take me about, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to render this recording from this brief. All the replays will be on, you ready for it? The replay page. Here is the replay page. Solo Amazon's on there from yesterday, this afternoon, or a couple minutes. Yeah, this afternoon when I post this replay, Solo Amazon will drop to a button down here, and the current replay will be up in the middle here. All right. Anything else? Questions, concerns? By the way, smart remarks. If you haven't talked to me or John at Demorex, I think they're closed. I think they have their 34 investors. So good on you, folks. I could not be. When you see these, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. Have you seen the psychedelic names recently? I mean, these names are ripping, folks. Holy shnikes. A tie last week, folks. $1.40. Rip. We're at $2, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. All the psychedelic names are ripping. I told you to. When you see the FDA commissioner says, hey, man, this is my top priority, MNMD. Nice rip out of MindMed today, too, 6%. Ladies and gentlemen, these headlines are insane. This is the FDA commissioner, ladies and gentlemen. So this is why you wanted to be in the REIT. This is why you want to be in Demorex. This is why you want to be in, Experience Onward. We have everything, man. We got infrastructure, we got a clinic, and now we have with Demorex a drug, a medicine. I can't believe I called it a drug. I need to choke myself. Awesome, Frank. I got filled on those calls. I sold the 2. I'm in a covered call on a tie, but that's all right. I'm gonna buy some more shares in a tie, so it's fine. All right, or just close them. Enjoy the ride. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. I appreciate your flexibility. Had to make that Fox News hit. No offense to you. I'm going to take the Fox hit. If it says Matthew Wiz Buckley, No Fallen Heroes Foundation on the screen, I have to take a media hit. So I'm taking a media hit, folks. I'd rather not talk about air traffic control issues or mishaps. I'd rather be talking about healing veterans and psychedelics. If you didn't catch it, you got to watch my interview on Scripps. Scripps had this was 9 minutes. I couldn't believe how long we were going. I'm like, and I lit it up too. I hammered Big Pharma. I hammered, people are like, dude, you better have somebody else start your car. Like big, people are going to be coming after you type of thing. So watch the Scripps interview. This is what I love, helping veterans with PTSD. I don't like seeing Wiz Buckley talking about air travel woes, but we're getting there. And I appreciate all your helping me to get there. All right, I got to go. I'll post the trades on the member page, and I will get back to you shortly. All right, guys, fights on, namaste, and basi basi. Wiz out. I'll see you.